All right, welcome to Goa. One thing we got to thank AIM is you don't have to go back home to your spouses, your significant others, your partners and explain what you did in Goa 2 days over the weekend. So thank you guys. I don't have my significant here, but at least all of you guys will enjoy that. Second, I think they got it wrong, as you realize in the setup. I had a colleague of mine, Chaki, who was supposed to join. I don't look like Chaki. Unfortunately, I don't even have the intellect of Chaki. So just be kind on me as I talk to you and take you through this session. A little bit of setting the stage on AI and what it's doing and what Gen AI is creating. Most of you know it. It is going to create, as rough estimates, of $16 trillion of economic impact, GDP growth by 2030. It's also obviously, as a result, going to lead to some changes in the way our businesses run and the way we interact. 80% of queries will be managed without people, without interaction with people. There'll be at least 20 to 25% improvement in the sales and revenue generation capabilities, and maybe 30% cost out. Now, we got to play in that. That's the imperative. It's an opportunity, but it's a threat. If we don't play in it, we're going to be left behind. You know, there's this often told story of Kodak that we keep hearing. They're the guys who generate, and it's often told, so I'm saying, sorry if I'm repeating something. They created the digital, but never went down the digital path. They missed an opportunity. On the other side, if you look at the hyperscalers, if you look at the Ubers of the world, if you look at the Amazons of the world, if you look at the Teslas of the world, they are actually grabbing this. And they're creating solutions, products, which are changing not only what they offer, but the lives of the people who use them. A colleague of mine was just giving me a stat that Amazon, I think, Manish, remind me, Atlane, adding 10 years into the life of an individual because of what they're creating and what they're rolling out. I mean, these are huge, huge tectonic shifts that are happening, and it's important that we are playing in it. I just want to go, why are we here? Now, before I go there, I think you're all looking at BK looking down at you. You know, yeah, he's a good-looking guy, middle-aged. You know, I also looked at it and said, why am I putting BK up there? Then I said, hey, guys, all of you should know who's paying for at least some of your drinks this evening. It's really important you know who's paying for it. He's paying for mine for sure. But more importantly, I think what BK is trying to emulate here, what he's talking about, is our vision. It's why we are here. We come from a genesis of services. We made a very hard pivot on tech, data analytics, and AI. We predicted that's where the market is going to go. 50% of our revenue in the last 24 months has shifted from just services to tech, data, AI, and we are continuing to invest there. We are fascinated by what we believe is going to be the power of Gen AI, agentic in the services businesses that we represent. So really, BK, thanks for the drinks, but more importantly, why we're here. I think I did want to bring this up. I mean, when you think of Genpact, you think of a services company, but I think we were the original GCC. We spun out of GE. I always thought that we fed a lot of BPOs, but what's fascinating is we've also helped generate the first set of GCCs. I think I met about 5 people here, 3 were ex-Genpact. I bet by the time I've met 70, 80 of you, 35 of you will be Genpact, so it just tells you the power of what we created and why it's so valuable. We should never lose that. I think we've remained relevant as a company because we have evolved as the market has grown. We came out as a Six Sigma site for GE. It was based on processes. It was based on Lean Six Sigma principles. As transformation started coming in, there was a huge pivot to digital and digital lean, lean digital, whichever way you want to call it, and then moving into RPA, and as I said, a hard pivot onto tech, data, AI, and agentic. So we do believe we are highly relevant. We do believe as we all speak over the next couple of days, I also do have the opportunity to, I think, head a panel discussion around or moderate a session on partnerships. So I really look forward to your feedback. How do we see AI? And how do you, I think you see this, but I'm going to give you a perspective which kind of hopefully brings it all together in our mind. I think one thing that we are seeing is recent surveys show that at least 46% of the companies are going to increase their budgets on AI spend going into next year. That's a huge number. I mean, And these increases are significant. These increases are not 5%, these increases are not 10%, they're 50 to 70%. We're now talking about adding 10, 12, $20 million a year into your budget. So this is no longer proof of concept. This is no longer, hey, this is nice to do. My board tells me let's experiment with it, so let me run some experimentation. This is real. This is now part of the stack. And if you are not on that journey, you're missing out. You're missing out as individuals, creating your own worth. You're missing out for your organizations, creating the worth that the organization is looking for. And this is driven by, in many ways, on what I would call is the cost of running AI. It is dramatically going down. It is getting democratized way more than anybody could think. I believe in a sub $5 billion company, they're working with at least 2 to 3 model and service providers or product providers, the mix of that, and I'll talk about products a little later. Some of the bigger ones are working with even more. And the reason for that is what it costs today. A frontier, I think ChatGPT 4, something used to cost about, I think $1,100 for 1 million tokens. It now costs 80 cents. Just think of the numbers. So you're talking about the cost of experimentation, and I won't call it experimentation, the cost of putting it into the enterprise is dramatically dropping, and I think that is driving the acceptance and taking it into the enterprise again. I think what's really driving it and what's really changing it is the way it has moved from, I need an LLM, I'm going to put my data into the LLM, I'm going to build something for the enterprise, it's tough to do. It's what's happening in the AI app world. It is, and a lot of these guys are here in the conference today, so are we building real domain-based enterprise apps which bring domain technology together and make adoption so much easier for any of the enterprises. I mean, whether these are, let's say if you look at IBM Granite, what they're doing with, let's say, in the legal side, or what they're doing in customer service, or you just see what we are doing in finance and operations and order to cash. It is that adoption which is, I think, really changing the speed at which you can take it in and absorb it. You don't have to necessarily start building from stack zero, getting an LLM, and then start training the LLM. And I think what it is also getting clear, if you look at over the last 18 months, there was this whole debate, where will it work, where will it not work? I think the use cases are becoming rather visible. You know where these use cases are. You have visibility to these use cases, whether it's in data entry, whether it's in prompt engineering, sorry about that, whether it's in search optimization, data analytics, data tagging, the use cases are there. And any process that uses these use cases is applicable and is valid for an AI agentic intervention. We're getting into the world of personal agents. I'm trying to get my own agent. I'm just hoping he plays better golf than me. But I mean, that is the journey that we're on, and that journey is something that is driving the adoption that we're looking at. I have this little slide. I'm not going to spend too much of time on this slide, but I think what I wanted to call out is that it is a continuum. It is not independent of everything that's been done over a period of time. Whether it started with RPA automation, moving into conversational AI, moving into Chat GPT or Gen AI and those related products, to what is now agentic. And solutions are going to be built as a combination of Gen AI, machine learning, agentic, into services and platforms. Hence, it is a continuum. You need some foundational basis. You need some foundational abilities to get there. And we'll talk about some of those foundational abilities. But it is something that we need to keep in mind. Okay, to me, this is really, I think, the crux of the way we see the world. You could call it a biased view, but it is the view that I really, adhere to, and I do believe it. I don't think so you can do anything in Gen AI and agentic if you don't have the process depth and domain, whatever processes it is. Whether you're building a fraud process, whether you're building a claims process, whether you're building a KYC, or you're building a agentic AP solution. If you don't have the domain, you can't build it. It's happening today. I think the great thing is it is happening today. That's why you're seeing these solutions come to life. These solutions are still agent in the middle, supported by technology and agentic and those things. But these are the core building blocks of it. I think over the next 12, 18 months, these are going to refine to the next level of capabilities. As they get more mature, you're going to have far more product-driven, driven by domain, but again, like I said, in the app world, solutions. This could be in merchandising. This could be in order to cash. It could be in our procure to pay. You list it. But what this is going to do, it's going to change the way the market buys these services and the way they are priced. I mean, today we are a service provider, FTE-based, but I can see that change to outcomes and solutions. And I think the next evolution is services as agentic, is the whole generation of platforms. And the reason I'm calling out this is that you're in the GCC world. And I know each one of you either is already on the journey or is looking at that journey. There is a big ecosystem to work with on that journey. You don't have to start from zero. You don't have to start trying to do this yourself. But there are people who have specialized it, who brought in their domain, who brought their skills and expertise. And this is the journey in our mind that we see the whole Gen AI, agentic going. We're playing in it. We're in the early stages, rolling out agentic solutions. Some of my colleagues here, they're in the stall there. You can see some of the stuff we have there. But I think this is a continuum that's going to happen. I'm not going to spend too much of time here. These are some, stories. But I do want to bring together what they're trying to say here. I think what they're trying to say here, and I'll talk about it in the next slide, is even us as service providers are not going to do this alone. We're going to do it in an ecosystem of partners. We're going to work with partners to make it happen. For example, the cloud company example that I have over here, it was done along with ServiceNow. We worked with ServiceNow. We worked in getting the procurement process set up. We had a 50% reduction in the cycle. We helped the compliance rate go up. Hence, going back to my point, this is not a journey you need to go alone. It's a journey that you can do with partners. I have lots of examples. I'm not going to spend too much of time on the examples. How do you get there? How do you make this happen? I know there'll be a lot of discussion between today, tomorrow, day after on talent. It's the common theme in every GCC event that I've spoken at, talked to, any leader I've talked to, it's about talent. And there's a difference between core talent versus supporting talent. Core talent is tough to find. It's expensive. They are not in numbers. I mean, these are some numbers of Genpact, over 3,000 core AI talent with the surround talent that exists over there. Lots of people in tech, data, AI, and advisory. But talent's going to be key. Can you get the talent? Can you sustain the talent? Can you make it exciting for the talent? Can you have enough business problems that they're solving? I think the other is the delivery model. To the point that we talked about earlier, right? Last year, every CEO was being asked by the board, what are you doing Gen AI? So guess what? 5 different people started off some projects. Is that the answer? I don't believe that's the answer. We actually do believe federation of these efforts is not going to give you the outcome that you're looking for. It was okay when you were in the experimental stage. When you really want to take it down and really create value, you need a central organization that helps get there, that drives it. In some cases, it's the GCCs. In a lot of cases, it's you guys for your enterprises. You're the people who are being asked to build that capability, that talent pool. For Genpact, we have what we call the Gigafactory. We've got all our abilities together. This is where our frameworks are coming together. This is where our IPs are coming together. This is where we do AI value mapping. This is where we do experimentation with clients. I think the other one is getting the right tech foundation. A lot of you are tech GCCs. A lot of you, I spoke to somebody here, we were just talking, building the analytical capabilities of thing, getting the data right, seeing what the data does, ensuring that the data gives what it's required. Do you have the computational power to do what you want to do? Again, that's why I keep saying partners. I see Snowflake's here, big partner of Genpact working in the whole going to cloud piece. It's those elements that will bring it all together. I do think I kind of teed it off. You can't do it alone. I do believe that. We can't do it alone. We recognize that. There are strengths that each party will bring. look at those trends, see how you're going to invite them into your ecosystem, see how you're going to drive value. The AI data platform and tech, to me, is the same. And I think the last is putting the right governance. It's, we are in a world where the scrutiny is high. We get it wrong, we'll kill our business. I was just seeing an article this morning, I don't know if any of you saw it. The OpenAI new LLM, I think it's called O3. It just got tested by a foundation, and it's simple maths program, and it was programmed that at the end of the third or the fourth, this thing, it'll shut down on its own. The AI actually overrode that shutdown. Okay, so there are risks there. I mean, it's really interesting. It actually overrode this thing. So AI is getting more human. It knows how to find its way around. So it's not only learning the good, it's learning the bad, or it's learning the jugaad, as we say in India. But it is important. I think you got to ensure that you get the governance around your AI initiatives right. I'll end with this. I mean, the future of GCC is not any longer about automation. It's all about intelligence and imagination. We had the first generation, which was all about muscle power. When the first revolution happened, about muscle power, big turbines, big systems. The second was all around the brain power. Today we are in this, what you call imagination world. It's the imagination power, and there's no limit to this imagination. It's how you use it, how you drive it. I think I'm really looking forward to the next couple of days, learning from you, hopefully giving you our perspective, but most importantly, also having some fun while we're in Goa. So thank you very much, and I thank AIM for having me here. Thank you.